Hello, everybody. Welcome to Heart of a Hobbit here today. I'm your host, Little Redhead, and let's see, today we'll be doing stuff in Lord of the Rings Online, because that's why we're here, on the Lord of the Rings Twitch channel, Lord of the Rings Online Twitch channel, I should say, so which is twitch.tv/LotroStream, in case you are coming at this from YouTube and want to be like, hey, I want to catch that show live. Well, that is where you can do that. So I'm actually on, I know the show is Heart of a Hobbit, but I'm actually on with one of my elf characters in one of her lovely little silk outfits. I think some of these are so pretty. Oh, hello, kitty cat. Oh, you know what? I need to switch her cape at some point because there's a silk cape that goes with that nicely. But then again, we've got the little divided half thing there. That's nice too. Hi. Cat has joined the stream area by sitting in front of one of the monitors. All right, well, we can work with this. No, wrong button. There we go. All right. So my plan for today is to work on earning some legendary item reward track experience. So this is the legendary item reward track, and we are currently in track number 12. Made me think of that Sesame Street thing from like ages ago, you know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That was so cool. The thing, not necessarily my rendition of it. All right, so on this server, I'm on Laurelin, and on this server, I have made my way up to through box number 30, and I'm starting into box 31. So we have a ways to go. So that means I've got 25, which is the incomparable Coffer of the Cozy Den, which I actually haven't installed yet. And then we have, for number 50, I believe is a pet. Yes, it's a blonde corgi. 75, though, is, again, more stuff. It's the Legendary Coffer of the Outdoor Market, and I'm really curious about that one. So I would like to get to 75 on this server if possible. I'm also working on it on Treebeard. And I'm definitely likely to get there on Treebeard. We're in the 60s over there, but I don't do as much questing during the week here on Laurelin when we're not all together. So that's where we are with that. So let me get a move in here. So one of the things I'm going to do is, so she's level 57, so that's one of the reasons why I'm working with her, because she's a lower level character. And whoa, I forgot how much stuff I have in my inventory. Excuse me. All right. Let's get rid of some of these creepy skins. I thought there's one. Oh, you know, I may have picked up. Yeah, I picked up both of them and was only able to turn one in last time because I'd hit my limit for the day. So. But we can do, I think, 6 in a day with this character. I can take, oops, I picked up the wrong one, not Filth. Sorry. I don't have Filth, I have creepy skins. They look very similar, I know, in the dark light. But here we go. All right, and I believe I can do 6 with this character. So we'll do 2 more. And the reason I'm doing this is, let me pull up that reward track again so you can kind of see. So let me scooch this over. And so you can see here, let me accept this quest. So when I turn them in, you should be able to see a definite move of that bar. Kaboom. Yeah, you see how it does make actually quite a significant bump. So if I can remember to do task boards every day, that helps. That will really help make progress on the reward track. Okay, so we have accomplished that. Let's see, how's our window looking at the moment? 7 days. I think we're good. All right, so we're going to head over to, let's go to Rivendell. That's Rivendell. I always want to see Rivendell as the one that's the elf style castle-y stuff, but that's what you get over in Ered Luin. The Rivendell one, if you just have like a milestone set there, it's the Trollshaw's image, which is very dark. And I never look at that and think Rivendell. You know, I don't think of the trees that it's hidden behind. I think of, you know, how, I don't know, I think of the elven architecture when I'm thinking about Rivendell. Yeah, like that. Like that would be the image I would expect to see on a travel skill. I mean, even a milestone skill. But I understand it's the region, which is the Trollshaws, and the Trollshaws is kind of dark. And tree-ish. All right, first thing we're going to do, actually, before we go and do this guy's stuff, I'm going to look at the barterer, because he's the barterer. And there's a limit of 500? Let's see, further adventure. It'll probably tell me here. 500, okay, and I'm at 276. So I should be fine to go and do a whole round of adventures without getting into a situation where I've hit the cap on those. If it was 400, we might spend some of it just to make sure we don't hit cap. But at 500, we're definitely going to be fine. So there's 2 different further adventures, storylines that we can do here. And one of them originates by Elrond, and the other one originates with that guy that I was just talking to outside of Rivendell. So we're going to start with this one because I just love twisting my ankle. So we're going to start with the further adventures of Eladan and Elrohir. And now he is like, hey, go talk to one of my sons. So we're going to go do that. So I hope everybody's having an awesome day. It's been cold here. The weather has gotten cooler. All right. Hey, here's Eladan. Well, okay, so Elrohir has gone ahead to search the Brunnen, but he wished to pass on his greetings. We're to travel south to Eregion and then through the Redhorn Pass to Lothlorien. Make any preparations you may require. We have a long trek ahead of us. And that, excuse me, is true. We do not come back to Rivendell until the end of it. We go the boom, 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 and they take us all the way around. So that was the reason why I wanted to double check on my situation with the tokens, because I'm not going to be back at the barterer. I mean, I'd have to leave my questing with them to go talk to the barterer and then go and find them where they are. I'll show you what I mean here after we're done with this chapter. So it is, I think, 10 chapters. I think each of them is 10 chapters, the Elrohir and Eladan sequence. And then the Bilbo set, I believe, is also 10 chapters. So, yeah, we'll have 10 things to do with these guys, and then 10 things to go do regarding Bilbo. And that'll be 20. So that's 20 quests. So that helps. Let's see how much progress we made. Actually, I'm curious. I should have paid more attention. Oh yeah, 31. We said that earlier. Those are horses. So this sequence that we're doing here is we are trying to figure out what happened to the riders at the Fort of Brunnen, and you know where did they go? Are they still around? Are they hiding behind a bush somewhere? Like, what's going on? Oh, hey, Crawler Slayer, nice. That's awesome. I forgot to check see if anybody else is on. Nope, just me. Okay. So now we're off to go find his brother, who is also on the Brunnen, but he's a little further down. So we were up here, and now we've been teleported further down. You know, I'm going to just see if I can drag these guys, although I'm sure they're slow. But we'll grab these guys and see if we can get everybody together, and then I'll just throw a little Santa at them. I know that's not Santa, it's probably like a wizard, but I mean, who's to say Santa's not a wizard, I suppose. I think it's supposed to be Gandalf. The Cry of the Wizards ability that I've got here as a minstrel, but it just, to me, it looks like a little bit like Santa Claus. Hi. Cats abound. So we have a Cateau sitting between me and the monitor there. And we have a Casper who's just came in and is like looking very much like he would like to join the fun. We shall see what he decides to do. He is really good at walking on my keyboard of late. So hopefully he doesn't do that. Earlier I was like, he did something. He was on my keyboard and it went beep, beep, beep. And I was like, uh-oh, what's he done now? Because he's been doing this a lot lately. He like puts my computer into full screen and just walking across my keyboard. He wasn't very actively walking across my keyboard before, but now he's like, sometimes he'd do it by mistake, but now he just seems to be like, ah, whatever. And he's right over it. So, but what it was is he turned my volume up all the way to the top. It's like, oops. So I put something on and it was really loud. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we are here and we have finished chapter 1. So we turn that in and they automatically give us the next one, which is chapter 2. So we are beginning chapter 2 out here at Talbrunnen, which means if I were to leave them and go, you know, talk to the vendor for getting rid of some of these further adventures tokens, I'd have to find my way back out to Talbrunnen to meet up with them again. And now we've teleported down here to Reagan, not too far from High Holland, Holland Ridge, that kind of area. So, yeah, we just keep moving. So that's why I do this one first when I don't have to, so I don't have to worry about the tokens situation. Oh, he's on the run. I gotta go. Nope, can't do that. Cat has made it complicated. Oh, I'm getting a little bit of, Let me walk slowly up to over here. Hey, what's up, buddy? There we go. All right. Well, watch out. Good, 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 good. I think we're getting a little lag. Hey, I'm curious if we will have different performance situation with the new servers. I'm guessing so. So that'll be exciting. So I'm hoping that times like this where I'm getting server side lag, I'm pretty sure that's not coming from my side. That hopefully that will really make a difference for this sort of situation. And I won't be getting server side lag very often. My computer is not like brand new, but it is new enough that it should be combating any of too many performance issues on this side. Now, if there was like, oh, my health is an issue here. It's possible we could be having like internet stuff going on. There's always that. Oh no, I got dazed and confused for so long. Oh, it's not true. All right, let's take out this guy, possibly. Okay, cool. We have a moment. We can look through some of this. We'll keep up with Elwer here. Let's see, remote quest, that is, oh, mission weekly, right, because we're doing missions. Got some Lotra points. I got 10 Lotra points for finishing that. Again with the days. What is up with that, huh? Yeah, let me move my phone out from underneath you, cat. I don't feel like you need to be sitting on my phone. Thanks. You silly girl. You are a very silly girl. And then the deed bestowed is the next one. So our Worm Slayer advanced. Ah, yeah, here we go. And I completed the Worm Slayer basic. Yay. Which gave me increased reputation with the Elves of Rivendell. That's cool. I'll follow your lead. All right. This is one where we could stand there all day. No, go. No, please. No, no, please. You go first. Oh, no, you. Oh, after you. But yeah. I wonder how many of these I can hit in one. Not bad. I think I got a bunch of them. Oh, and then they got me. Let me get out of that fire. Maybe heal myself a little bit since I am playing a minstrel. I have that capability. Things to remember. Because I'm usually playing a hunter, so I just find that it goes so much faster on a minstrel right now. these further adventures. Let's talk to the wing Gwaihir, one of the great eagles. Hello. It's not every day you get, you know, one of the great eagles hanging out with you. Excuse me. Well, I guess it could be every day if you come and do these quests every day because they reset daily. So now when you're doing these missions, you want to keep an eye out. Does a box show up? For this particular sequence, yes. So you want to make sure you pick that up before you go because that's where they put the majority of the goodies for you. All right. So now we are, that was number 2. So we finish and he gives us number 3. So now we're out here at Ekata Region. So you notice that they're just kind of moving us through, through the land, which is kind of fun. All right. So now we are actually, oh, you can't see it here, but. Yes, before foolishly got taken over by a computer update. I think the computer is updating whether he wanted it to or not. So, yes, and missed the first 20 minutes of the stream. Has it been 20 minutes already? Ah, indeed it has. Well, 15 of active interaction. Oh, right. Ill Omens is happening right now. So if you are looking to get any of those goodies to this, what, weekend? No, I think it's like a week or 2, maybe. It's not as long as like a festival. Yeah, but we could go take a look at that if there are folks who are unclear as to how to get to the Ill Omens, how to interact with that. Basically, there's instances, and so there's specifically named instances that if you go into those, you'll find Ill Omens that day, and that set of instances rotates through like 4 or 5 different days before remembers better, because he's really good at leading us through it and being like, hey, let's go do this, and then I would just follow him around. So I haven't necessarily taken control of it myself, and so I forget the details. But speaking of details, there is a lot of conversation going on about the upcoming new servers opening, so that's exciting. So if anybody wants to talk about that, we are up for that. I'm going to just stand here by this fire because it removes any cold effect that was on me. And since we were out here and had some frost grims, it's possible, you know, that something could have given me a cold effect by now. So I wanted to go ahead and clear that if that was something that was on me. Ruff. Knock those down. They're just sleepy cats. They're just going to lay down. Yeah, right now you can see I've got a persistent cold effect on me. It would last an hour, it says. But if I stand next to here, this will help you feel the cold slowly dissipate from your body. All right, but I do have to keep up with these guys. But I think I stood there long enough to get rid of the cold effect. Yes, I did. Awesome. Yeah. I've started like laying a cloth over my desk, and I want to swap it out for a different one, you know, wash them every so often. And so the one I'm replacing, the fresh one, is folded up and sitting on my desk and waiting for me to do it, because I didn't get to it yet today. And of course, that's where, you know, the cat is like, ah, this is my sleeping place now. Thank you for providing this to me. Yes, so kind. Skagosi says, good evening, Little Red and B4. Good evening to you. How are things in Skagosi world? I am working on trying to get more legendary item reward track experience. If nothing else, I do it once a week on Tuesdays with you all. I just have to get better about doing it like during the week when I'm not here streaming. That would also be a good time to work on it. I was just looking to see if Casper was behind me on the couch. I don't see him. But I'm having a little trouble turning my head as much today as some other days, so, you know, I'm not looking around quite as well. Is he on the couch? Oh, yeah, there he is. He's on this couch, so he's like right there, probably. That's probably him over there at the very edge of the screen. Oop, hey. Sorry, Eladan, wait up for me. Luckily, Eladan is fine and can take care of himself. It's been cold here. Not like, I was gonna say, not frigid cold, although I guess technically it has been getting to be below freezing overnight. And so it's still below freezing like in the morning sometimes when I'm getting up or going somewhere in the morning. Bleh, I don't care for that. Because we had like, I don't know, a week or so where it stayed, like it was above like 3 or 4 degrees every day, which was nice. I was really glad for that. I was like, yay, I like it when it's warmer. Actually, I think my favorite temperature range is like, I would say probably like 16 to 18. Yeah, let's say 16 to 28. It's quite a good range. But like, I could just live happily in that range, I think. Because I've got some jackets I really like to wear, and I like to layer. And they've got some really good pockets. So, and, you know, pockets are like, you know, the world. So if I could just stay in those jackets when it's cooler. So, I mean, if the coolest it got down to was like, let's say 9. They'd be a little on the chilly side, but I could, you know, do a couple extra. I could do a sweater and then a jacket and a scarf and some gloves and a hat. Like, I could bundle up, right? I could make that work with just jackets. And then I wouldn't have to wear my big puffer coat, because I find that once it gets close to freezing, I just, especially if it's below 10, I really struggle to not wear the giant puffer coat because it just provides so much warmth. But it's really annoying because it's huge. I hate wearing a huge coat. I feel like I take up 2 seats on a bus just because it's so big. It's like huge. It like doubles my size of me. It's so weird. So I would love to live in a temperature range where I didn't need the giant puffer coat anymore. That would be cool. Skagosi says, doing good. Awesome. Glad to hear that. Says, hope you are both feeling well again. Well, we're feeling definitely better than we were, like, you know, when we were like feverish and stuff. So that's nice. We still are coughing a lot, which is really annoying. And, oh wow, that just took that guy out. No, please, thank yous, and how do you do's. So that, yeah, so that's annoying because I would like to not be doing that. And there's like times, especially when I'm trying to fall asleep, where it's like I seem to get like a tickle in my throat and it just will not go away. And it's like, I just want to sleep, yo. So, I don't know. Anyway, but yes, thank you for asking. Yeah, I like the idea of being healthier. It's been really frustrating too because it's like, it seems like this just knocked me out of my routines and everything. And so I've been trying really hard to like be active at least 20 minutes a day. So like going for a walk or, well, or walking, I should, you know, whatever. Or riding a bike, you know, doing something, going from A to B for 20 minutes a day by my own like motion. And minimal 3 times a week is my goal. And for a couple of months now, like maybe as many as 3 or 4, I have been consistent every week in making that goal. And some weeks it was like, you know, many, like all 7 days. But every week I've made it at least 3 days a week. And these last 2 weeks, I think I've missed. Last week I missed, I think, and the week before that, I think I didn't get to 3. So that's a bummer because I was like really happy that I had a really good streak going. But I've just been, I don't know. It's been a combination of being physically worn out and just not mentally having the strength to force myself to go out. So that's been frustrating. But I have a once a week yoga class that I go to, and it's called restorative yoga. So we do a lot of laying down, and then some light stretching and like kind of a stretch and hold kind of thing. So it's not as active as some yoga that you might think of. It's like, yeah, it's very low impact. But it works out great for me. Excuse me. All right. Oh, yeah. So I was going to show you guys. We are here by the Dimmerald Dale as you lead into Lothlorien. And now we are going to go into Lothlorien. Yes, a nice kind of yoga. I like it. It's so funny though because like the first time I went, and so sometimes we'll make like a little pile of the little cushions and stuff, and so you're like laying down. You've got your head at the top of this pile, and I'm like, all right, this is cool. You lay down, relax, cool, you know. And then we're like yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday we did like the banana pose or crescent. So you've kind of like, you're leaning while you're laying down. We were not even with that pile. We're just like laying flat. And so you're like curving your arms and curving your legs. And so you make like a C. And so you think, oh, okay, this isn't like doing a lot. But then like after my first class, man, I slept really well that night. It was great. Excuse me. So, yeah, I find that the yoga is really good for me, and it kind of helps, I don't know, just kind of settle me a little bit, which is really nice. So either I walk or I take my bike, because it's in town. It's not far, actually. So that gets me out and into the outdoors. So usually I can, you know, get some time outdoors walking or biking from that. And I do count that plus the yoga as being active in a day. But I didn't even go to yoga one of these weeks. So that even like threw it off. Interesting. Sounds Discord doesn't know you're streaming. Oh, I see. Yeah. Let's see what I can do about that. And what do I have to do to exit? Exit? Will that do it? Oh, that's not gonna be. I'm not gonna be able to get to that. That's behind Lotro. Nope. Well, let me know if you hear it again. Yeah. Yeah, let me know if you hear it again. Let's see what I can do about that. Sorry for background noises there, folks. Oh, I know what I could do. I'm just gonna do some things in the background while these guys do all the fighting for me. They're great. It'll be fine. Oh, I should probably follow them though. Wait for me! There we go. We'll see how that works. All right, that should take care of some of those noises that we don't need. All right, cool. So, like I said, these guys can handle things on their own. They don't need me. But, you know, I provide moral support and whatnot. Are you coming over? Oh, no, she's going off. Okay. I've scooted the... I have a footstool nearby, very squishy kind of footstool nearby. And, oh, hang on. These are ill omens. You don't say so. We'll follow your lead. Okay, so now I kind of wait because I've noticed if I run ahead too soon, so I kind of wait till after he said it and then it disappears kind of thing. And then it's like, if I go forward, then they react and they notice me. Oh my gosh, I was going to try and set down traps. I'm not a hunter, can't set down traps. So funny. Anyway, so I've been trying to encourage the cats to come and like sit down or, you know, lay down next to me. So because I've got to, because what they want to do is they want to be like on top of me, which I appreciate. That's very sweet. Very cuddly, very gezellig. But, and actually, lately Casper is just walking like right in front of my keyboard and on my keyboard, and he like wants to be right here as close as he can be to me without being on my lap. Sometimes he's actually on my lap lately, which is really cool. But anyway, so I've been trying to figure out how to get him to like be nearby in a way that also works for both of us. Well, we're getting there. So I've got like a squishy spot there that they've been walking back and forth across it. So we're getting there, but I may have to like further catify the location in order to make them be like, aha, this is where I shall sleep. Because the other problem is sometimes they'll come and be on me, and then I'm like, yeah, but I want to get up. I got stuff to do, like make a cup of tea before I start streaming. Excuse me. So, yeah. Okay, so we are running around up here at the top of Lothlorien because there's been sightings, and the scouts of the area are, yeah, there's wolves and, oh, sorry, wargs. And, well, yeah, no, wolves and wargs. I'm getting both. So they've got some of the elven scouts of the area who've been going out and dealing with this, but occasionally the scouts are kind of going missing or get separated from their friends, and so we are helping out to find the scouts and then also try to deal with all of these encroaching wargs and wolves. Well, I wonder if they're not, let's see, that's a hunter. That's a warg. Oops, we're in combat again. Tell me again in a moment. Oh, deed tracker. Oh, I used piercing cry 600 times. Oh, that's nice. So here's one of the scouts we were trying to find. And my bags are full. Oh no. Yeah, so I've been doing a cataloging of all the different carryalls that I have across the various servers. So, because I'm trying to figure out, like, I want to know where my carryalls are so I can make sure I kind of disperse them to where I want them to go. Because I am planning to move off of the current servers, the regular servers, off of all of those and onto the new servers. So that's definitely my plan. So it's like, okay, well, of the 4 servers, where do I want, you know, the various things to go? Now, I realized, though, that my main interest is on the 2 role-playing servers. So most of my stuff and most of my characters will be going to those 2. There is a little bit of interest in one of the kinships that's on Evernight that I'm still involved with. Well, technically I'm the kin leader. So that there's some interest in that one into being maybe set up for being able to do raids and things like that. So I think those characters, well, the highest levels of those characters are going to Orcrist, and then everything else and everyone else I'm probably sending to Meriadoc. Yeah. So, yeah. So working on that. And I realized that I have some task carryalls, which will be really handy because I have, where is it? I have a spreadsheet with all this. But I have like basically like 3 task carryalls, which I didn't even know I had any. And then I was like, oh, well, look what this character's got, you know, that kind of thing. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong one. Here it is. Yeah, task carryalls. Oh, okay. I have 2 on Landreval. Okay, so those will have to stay on the US side. And I have 2 on Evernight. Who knew? So the 2 on Evernight, I'm probably just going to send those to Meriadoc and just do everything there. So that'll be handy because I think I may actually have one on Laurelin also. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, I have a task carryall here. So that means I'll have 3 of them on the server. So what I could do, well, not the server, but the future version of the server. So I think what I'll do then, I'll have, you know, task items that are levels 1 through 50, and then task items that are like, you know, 51 through 100, and so, you know, and then the highest stuff up through 150. Well, 101 and beyond. So that'll be really handy for, because when I need to do tasks with a character, I can just be like, oh, here we go, pull out the correct task, you know, carryall. Easy peasy. I love how they get to tumble. So good. We are in Galadriel's garden, so very, very nice that we were able to come in here. That's so cool. All right, I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with all my stuff. I guess I could like pull out the carryall and put stuff in it. I have to move something first. Because I have 0 spaces in my inventory. Welcome to Karis Galadriel. May we speak? Yes, of course. All right. And then she is glad that we have provided comfort to her grandsons. What did they do? Oh, I got Lotra points for stuff. Deed completed. Oh yeah, the smooth voice. That gave me 5 Lotra points. That ain't bad. That's nice. Okay. Oh, Galadriel is done with me. I can go rest. And she sends me back to Elrond. Oh, there's only 5 chapters with those guys. That's a short little trip. And we finished that now. All right. Thank you, Elrond. Just thinking about... So I've been having... I have a lot of stuff in my inventories. I mean, like, isn't that the way? That is the Lotra way. No, I made it down without any injury. That's handy. So, we'll take a look at her inventory here in a second. Zoom. Oh, I think some of these statues that, I think we already have a bunch of these, don't we? Access to them. But statues, there's some new statues coming out with, I think, next update. So that's kind of cool. All right, let's see what we got here. What is this? This is a ceremonial shield of the Rohirrim. Where in the world did I get that from? Wow, that's pretty, isn't it? Well, let's stick that in the wardrobe. In case I ever want to dress up a bit Rohiriki. And 14 critical defense and 10% range defense. I don't think that that's a shield that I need to carry. So I think we are actually going to... Hi. We're going to say hello to Kato. I know you can just see the top of her hair. Hi. Are you going to lay down on my lap, or are you trying to get under my lap? You want to go down there, don't you? Okay. Making space under the table so she can sit on the footstool under the table. But they have a blanket on there. So basically what I do is I tuck a blanket over my lap, but I tuck my tuck it under my feet, so it creates like a little space for her to lay down. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that. Shh, don't tell the Rohirrim. And what is this? Theodore's Riddle. Oh my gosh, bingo boffin stuff. Okay. Well, let's grab task item carry-all. And let's see if we can slurp anything up. Oh! The answer to that is yes. Yes, we can. Neat. Maybe I should just keep that on me for the moment. Oh, right. Then let's get our stuff out of here. Loot all. Excellent. Okay, cool. Now we're ready to go. So this guy has 10 chapters for Bilbo Baggins. I forgot that the twins was much shorter. That's too bad. We are at 311. And we were at, what, 275 or something like that. So we're fine. We are not going to run on through the cap. So that's fine. All right, so the first one of these, the first chapter, ow, your claws. She's very happy, so she's kneading, which is very cute. But that's another reason why I have a thicker blanket on my lap, because she has thick little claws. Like, there's a part of me that wants to have like a layer below the blanket that's like a nail file, basically, right? And so then when she would put her claws there and be scratching, she'd be like scratching on that nail file, and we could be slowly like filing down her nails that way. What do you think of that? Do you like that idea? What if we put a little nail file under your nails and you just go crunch, 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 crunch? All right, well, so these guys are running through one of those routines of, yeah, good morning. Are you saying it is a good morning? Are you saying it is a morning to be good on? Or, you know, that sort of thing. Before it guesses that Kato might not approve of this plan. So maybe I could get some sandpaper and just lay it over my leg and then put the blanket on top. Yeah. I might like this plan. It's funny too because her nails get really long and sharp. And they do so faster than Casper's, because we take them both to the vet to get trimmed, to get their nails trimmed, because they are not particularly keen on letting us do that. And when we first got the cats, we wanted to make sure, because they'd come from, like, we know their background, but, you know, you want to make sure that they're healthy and that they're settling in fine and, you know, everything is going well. So, so we just started taking them to the vet to have them go ahead and handle the nail trimming and doing the flea stuff on the back of their neck, because we did that ourselves the first summer, and we were less than successful with that as well. So it makes sense. We just take the cats to the vet. They get their nails trimmed. They get a little checkup. They get to get outside in a controlled cage environment, which they don't particularly care for. But we figured maybe it's a good idea because then, like if there's ever an emergency and we have to actually like put them in the carrier and take them somewhere, that it's not like the first time they'll ever have encountered that with us. So, and they're still not thrilled about the, adventure. Let me be clear about that. But they're more willing to let us put them in the carriers than they used to be. So that's definitely progress. We're never going to get a situation where they're like, oh yes, please let me ride in that thing. But, they don't fight against it quite as hard. And they kind of, act a little resigned to their fate. Poor things. But then they come home and they definitely seem less, they settle back into being home a lot faster than they did when we first did this. So we figure it's taking them to the vet to get their nails trimmed, maybe a little bit of a luxury, but it's a good practice for them. It's good practice for us, and gets them used to being in the carrier in case there's an emergency where we really do need to get them in there and take them somewhere. And, just gets them out in the neighborhood and stuff, because we don't let them out. I mean, they go out into the backyard. We have a cat run that has like a tower that they can, with some shelves that we built. And I say we, I mean before pretty much did that. So the cats can hang out outside in the sun, and and they enjoy that a lot. Not this time of year, not as much. It's a little chilly for hanging out outside. They still go. They can get all the way from our house to like there's a little building at the back of the garden, and they can get out to there, and it's partly open, but it's covered by screens and stuff, so they can't get out. So they still go out there daily and go and look at the waterfowl of nearby and whatnot. The things that are happening out there. Watch the birds and the dogs and all the other activity out there. So they get their fresh air on a regular basis, which is good. That's important. But in a way that is safe for them and safe for the environment, and everybody's going to be all right. It helps them live longer that way. I've had far too many indoor-outdoor cats that met their end through various means of being outdoors. So it's nice to know that they can go outside, but yet they're still in a safe way to do so. Yeah. Yeah. So I was almost late getting started today, actually, because she was spending some time coming and going, and and then she was laying on my lap, and I was like, well, I can't get up now. I'm like, it's 5 o'clock, and I really need to get moving. Yeah, so they are well-spelled cats, and I'm okay with this. But yeah, it's kind of funny that her nails end up getting much sharper, much faster than his. His are still actually somewhat dull. He has got, though, some thick claws. He doesn't mean to, but occasionally, like, he'll jump across me, and, a claw will catch my skin or something like that, and those things are chunky. It's not what I like. Her nails are more thin and pointy. So, anyway. Yeah. She's kind of zonking out a little bit. That's not good. All right, what do you say to Narna's tidings? He's like, what tidings are those? Sickleflies and boars kept us too busy to speak. Why, the news that Bilbo Baggins has disappeared from Imladris. So this takes place after the Fellowship has left. Excuse me. Yeah, not too long after the Fellowship has left. So Bilbo's hanging out at Imladris and, you know, writing poems and hanging out with the elves and having a grand old time there. But he has gone missing. So where, oh, where could our little hobbit be? Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to monk you there. All right, so we're kind of wandering around. So we've ended up here at the High Moor, and we checked around in Rivendell, and nobody had seen him in the Rivendell, and these guys haven't seen him come this way. So we're pretty sure he hasn't been this direction. So the nice thing with this set of further adventures is it always sends us right back to Rivendell. So we can come back and we check in with him here. So if I was like, oh, I'm going to go do other things, or I don't want to do this, or whatever, I can leave, wander around, and then I just got to get myself back to Rivendell, and then I can pick these missions right back up. So I like that. So, yeah. Plus, because he's the vendor, the barterer for the tokens, that's also really handy, because if I get myself to a point where I'm over or running up against the cap, well, the guy I'm talking to pick up the next mission is also the guy that I would talk to get to spend some of those tokens. So that also works out nicely. So here's something funny, is you could just let this guy do all the work. I have done that before when I was busy with something or, you know, whatever. But I'm going to go ahead and call these other guys over. We'll do a little Santa Claus action and get rid of most of them. But yeah, these NPCs, they have got like so much health. They got a lot of morale. So I'm like, that's cool. I've been kind of jonesing to go do some Yondershire. But I really want to get through the LI reward track. So I think I'm just going to keep focusing on the LI stuff, or stuff that gives me, you know, experience on the reward track for now. I'm also thinking, like, once we move servers and everything, it's going to kind of change the tenor of things a little bit, right? And yeah, there's just going to be, it's going to seem a little different for a little while. But I was thinking it might be nice to do some, as I always do, I'm like interested in community stuff. And so, oh yeah, I was thinking about maybe like, who is it? Green Eyed Gamer. She does like or I don't know if she still does, but I think she does. Like the Slayer Saturdays or something like that, where they go and everybody groups up and they work on Slayer deeds together. I'm like, what a cool idea is that? So I might try to start scheduling, like after we've, you know, consolidated servers and stuff a little bit and things settle down a little bit. I might try working on seeing if some of my fellow hobbits want to go up and do Yondershire together and stuff like that. Yeah, before it says Yondershire isn't too far below your level and its quests might give legendary item XP. Oops, I was thinking about the Wildwood. Yeah, never mind. Yeah. Because Yondershire is like around 20, level 20. It's like, I forget the actual range, like 20 to 35. I'm not sure if it's even that high. It might be 15 to like 30 or something like that. They're up, it says on the wiki, actually. Which I could go and take a look. Because these guys are talking, you know. Ultra wiki. Okay, levels mainly 20 to 23. So, yeah. A bit lower than my level 57 character here. One of the things about like all the server moves and stuff is that I will have more characters clumped together on some servers. And so like on this server, I currently have one high level character. She's like 150. So like the top tier, or the top, not top tier, the highest level that you can go. And then, so she can do the delvings. So that's handy. And then I have another character who's a burglar who's like level 100. And I am not proficient at playing a burglar. So she just kind of hangs around and does social things. And then I have this character who's level 57 and a minstrel. And I can do like 1, 2, 3, like there's like 8 things I know how to do with a minstrel. That's good enough. So that's working, but it'd be nice if I had yet another character, because basically I use the 150 character and I use this 57 character to get LI experience on this server. So once I'm over on Meriadoc, I'll have a couple other characters that I come in with as well, because I have 3 other characters on the server, but they're all, sorry, 2 other characters, but they're both really low level, like 15 or 20 or something like that. So they're not really used for LI experience yet. So Delirian, hey, welcome to the chat. Slayer Saturday is still a thing. And you think Egg Arthur took over the lead on that. Oh, okay. And Goshil is covering the streaming. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's fine. Excuse me. Thanks for the info. Well, I'm really looking forward to when we have like a Lotro Discord, because I know some of this stuff ends up on the forums too, but that might be a cool place for me to be like, hey, where's the Slayer thing happening? And people will be like, over here, you know. I guess it might be on the forums. They might post it on the forums too. But yeah, I was thinking about I might start joining in on some of that. Although Saturdays, well, we'll see. We have a standing kinship gathering. Currently, there's 4 of us over on Treebeard, and we gather up on Saturdays, and we quest for what's our Saturday evening, or afternoon into the evening. Sometimes it goes longer. That's when it goes into the evening. Sometimes it's not. Yeah, but often it is, because it's our completionist characters, and so we're trying to do everything, and we want to like do all the quests and all the deeds, because gotta get those deeds. So yeah, so that's kind of where we're at right now on Saturdays. So Saturdays might not be most excellent for me, but we'll see. See if I have a chance to join in. I mean, excuse me. At the end of the day, there's a lot of stuff always going on in Lotro, right? Like, there's no way you can participate in everything. And I think that's lovely. Like, there's Hobbit events when I go to Green Dragon Friday most weeks, and that's on Laurel Inn here. And it's a Hobbit role-playing thing. And we do the news partway through. Whoever's hosting will list off what's the latest news, and we'll list off like the events that are happening. And so like the Brandy Badgers, or they just call them the Badgers, they'll be like rehearsing every other Monday, and then on the opposite Mondays is the day for the Hobbit Market in Mickledelving. But then there's also is it Bard's Night Out, I think, That also happens on Mondays, and that's more of a dwarven thing, but everybody's welcome. And that's up by Thorin's Hall, by Thorin's Gate. And then on Wednesdays is another music thing that happens. Like, so there's a lot. Like, there's always something going on, it seems like. So, and that's not even including the special events. Like, we just had a kin house that was all decorated up, and it's as if it's like a cider mill. And so he just had like a grand opening of the cider mill. It was an event with music and dancing, and it was a lot of fun. So that was on a Saturday evening. I was able to make that. I think it was. Oh no, maybe it was a Sunday. Maybe that's why I was able to make that. What are you doing? Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. Oh my gosh, I felt so bad the other day. I did not realize that Casper had actually climbed underneath and was on the footstool, and I didn't realize he was there because he didn't come from here. He like came from the other side, and so I went and I just stuck my legs under there and to stretch him out, and I bonked right into him. It felt so bad. It's like I didn't mean to bonk you with my feet. But we made up. He forgave me. All right. Oh, I'm netted. See, by my feet, there was a net. Sometimes with the lag, there was like some really bad lag spikes for a while, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I can't move, and I thought this lag was getting better, and it's because I was netted. It's like an in-game thing. I was like, oh, right, everything's fine. So that was kind of funny. All right, so I'm going to gather up some of these guys. At least that's my attempt here. And then I'll do a wizard Santa Claus. So that's 7. Oops, that's 8. Well, that too. There we go. And then they knock me out because, that's how they are. Because I'm slow. I'm slow at pushing buttons. But yay, that got rid of a whole bunch of them, so that's handy. Hey, we got some wargs. Let's take care of these guys. Oh yeah, Elven Housing is supposed to be coming out this year. I haven't heard any more details. I know Cord had his regular stream on Friday, and he talked about he got a new server FAQ out. Specifically about these 4 new servers that are opening up, but there's a lot of good information in there. So for the server transfers that are coming up, we've got Cord's new 64-bit specific FAQ, but a lot of good information in there. Yao over on Deco de Mew has done a good FAQ, but like kind of focused on the what do we do with our houses kind of thing. And then Before and I put together a cool video. Let me see if I can grab that link. About helping you through the kind of a walkthrough of, not kind of, it is a walkthrough of the Lotro character transfer wizard. So let me just write that as transfer wizard. Hang on a second. I was in a hurry and now it says walk thorough. Well, it doesn't even, it's misspelled. Anyway, y'all know what I'm trying to say there. I typed it into the chat. So the link is there in the chat. So when you are getting ready to transfer your characters or your shared items or both, you can use that as kind of like a way to anticipate what you're doing. So what I would recommend, it's a short video, it's like 5-6 minutes long. So I would say take a look at it ahead of time so you kind of have a good overview of like what to expect. And then at the time, when we're doing it, then you can have it like pulled up and you can use that as a way to follow along so you can remember, oh yeah, this is the next step that's coming. Oh, okay, here's what this is. Here's what, you know, just trying to remember what is going on. Because, you know, things can seem a little overwhelming, especially if this isn't a process that you have done before or do regularly, as most of us don't do it regularly. I have transferred characters before, so I do feel a little bit more comfortable in that regard, because it's something that I'm like, okay, I've been here, done that, right? This is how this works. But just walking through the transfer wizard can be really handy, just to have a refresh if you've done it before, and some hand holding if that's also what makes you happy. Because I noticed that we had a lot of folks who were talking about in various discords about how they were really nervous about this, and it was feeling, it was causing stress and anxiety. And I'm like, maybe there's a way that we can, what do I do when I'm stressed and anxious about something that I don't know much about? Well, having more information, right? That's what helps me to kind of help manage some of that and reduce some of the anxiety, because I'm like, okay, now I know what to expect, and just seeing it in action, that can really help. So yeah, we put together that Transfer Wizard walkthrough video where we walk through step by step what you do in there, and do some examples and things like that. So hopefully that is helpful to a lot of people, especially when we get to it, which I will expect that we will be transferring. Well, Severlin had said that he would be surprised if the transfers weren't, the new servers weren't open and ready to go for everybody to transfer over by the end of the month, by March, he said. Well, that's the end of this month. So, yeah, so I'm going to guess that it's going to be in the last week, because on Cordovan's stream this past Friday, he said something about how the current LI reward track, which is why we're here, which ends on, I think it's the 19th, so I got like 14 days right now on it. And there was something about, they basically are wanting to have the current reward track still going. They don't, I think what it is actually is they don't want the new reward track to begin before the transfers are open. So it sounds, because Cord mentioned maybe extending this reward track, time, in order to give more time, and then the transfers would open. So that's my guess, is they want to start the new reward track after people are on the new servers. So that's what I'm thinking. Which means if this one ends on the 19th, oh good, this is a talkie one, this is easy. There's no fighting for me to do in this one. Cool, I'll just follow him. Yeah, so if this reward track is supposed to end on the 19th, and they're going to extend it, and the month only has 28 days, and if they want to have it done, the server's open by the 28th, then that means sometime between the 19th and the 28th, right? So we kind of can, draw some conclusions there, like, okay, and if they're going to extend this a little bit, then that really puts us into the last week of February. So that's my guess, is they're going to open the servers the last week of February. That is my guess. So yeah, Skagosi says, nice, have not done it since 2015, the character transfer. Yeah, I know, right? So, I mean, and I don't think they've changed anything about it. Like, I don't think the character transfer wizard has changed as far as I can tell. Let's see, search for spare key. Now we go. Here we go. Because the graphics on the wizard honestly look a little, like they've been around a while. I mean, that's fine. It's not like you know, something you need access to do it a lot regular. So it's not worth spending a lot of like time and resources doing, I don't know, cosmetic update on it. Like it works. Like there's no need to do any work on it. So it does what it says on the tin. You know? All right, grab our reward. Yeah, so this is number 7. This one's great because that's all you got to do. Like there's no fighting. It's pretty short. So that's what some people do is if they're trying to run through this quickly is they'll do like number 1 and number 7 because those are just talkie. I don't mind doing the one, oh, this one I have to actually pay attention. Hang on a second. Because these guys, the mechanic here is that these guys are going to keep coming if I don't get these doors shut. So I have to quickly dispatch the 2 or 3 that run out and get that door shut. Otherwise, the next 2 or 3 will come out while I'm still working on the previous 2 or 3. And they will not, like, you know, give you pause to work on closing a gate while they're out here. They will attack you, which will interrupt you, and then you can't close the gate. So, cool. I do love how, like, all these dudes are here going, ah, no, you closed our gate, ah, rah. It's funny. All right, and then there's one more. And it's over here. So thankfully, I have not yet, knock wood, fallen down during this particular instance because holy moly. It does say do not fall down into the lower level. And, you know, I'm just the one who would be good at that. So thankfully, I have managed to do this instance without falling down. All right, and then this guy is like, hey, what's all this? It's a booming voice, it says, you know. Who's shutting gates in my city? That's my job. So if you're a hunter and you're like, okay, I'll do all my sneaky stuff and then I can attack this guy. It's like, no, you have to interact with him to get him to move to the next phase. So none of that. Sorry. I love how this guy just kind of wanders carefully, slowly, and hey, good job. It's like, okay, man. All right. It's so funny though because I enjoy the quieter servers, and it's gonna be really weird to have like more people running around. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but I don't know. I have characters on Mordor. I could play over there more if I want a quieter place. I used to do that on Anor. Oh, they netted me. Darn it. Okay, cool. Back. What I find with this one, excuse me, is I really like just running through as a minstrel. Yeah. Drag them all out here and then take them out because I think I can get, yeah, this guy's moving on. So he doesn't start the next phase of this instance until you're out here, and so now they're talking and stuff. So I like dragging all the trash mobs out here and just deal with them out in this area. And then, yeah, that gets that started. So we're going to have 2 waves of just a couple guys coming from this area. Here they come. Cool. And one more. Cool. And now we wait for this guy. He's going to go ask for that guy, go get some help. Sorry, he's going to tell him to come and deal with me. And this guy's like, I'll go get help. Which means go hide in a corner. And at some point, this guy figures out that maybe nobody else is coming. Yeah. Bilbo's egging him on. You know, he says they're coming with a throng of goblins. Bilbo's like, a throng, is that all? She'll easily defeat your throng. He's like, shush you. They'll be here any second now. He's like, okay, fine, I'll just deal with you myself. Big mistake. That's right, Bilbo. You just make him think everything's... Well, okay. I guess you were right. I was easily able to take him out. So that's handy. All right. And we should have a mission reward box. Bum, bum, bum. So that one gave me 3, 4, 5 tokens. And then when I leave and go back out to here, he gives me 2 tokens. So that's 7 in total for doing that thing. But it's only, like, I would have missed, it's only 2 on this side. So I would have missed out if I hadn't, like, if I'd forgotten to pick up the box. So it's really important to remember the box. It's like that with the dwarven ones. Like, there's a handful of different dwarven ones that you get to through, like, war rooms and stuff. And it's the same with them. They have a chest for you to open up, and then it's that's where you get the tokens. So. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing another short video of kind of like, here are some things that I am being mindful of in doing my transfers. I'm planning for the preparation aspect of it. I'm just curious if I could open that up. Because there's a lot, right? There's a lot to think about, and, you know. Can I open this door? Nope, that is locked. All right, I'm coming. You should still do most of the fighting. None would mistake me for Thorin Oakenshield. That's cute. All right, I guess I can do some of the fighting here. Whoosh. Anyway, I've been trying to think of what else might people find handy in preparation for the transfers. And I've kind of like, you know, I've got my notes on the various things I'm keeping track of and cataloging and, you know, counting how many of this and how many of that and where is this and all of those various things. So just thinking about doing a video where, you know, I kind of share that process and see if, you know, other people find that handy. But I don't feel like that one is as important as the transfer wizard walkthrough, because that's really the meat of what, I mean, that's what you're going to do. So whether you prepare or not, you know, that's what you're going to end up doing. The nice thing too, Cord was talking about how after the initial opening of the transfers happen, of the new servers happens, and you'll be able to transfer from the 32-bit worlds to the 64-bit worlds, the 4 new ones. Okay, because there's 2 in each of the zones, so there's going to be 2 new US servers and 2 new EU servers. And if you, like, transfer to one of them in your zone, so like one of the US servers, and you're like, oh man, you know, I kind of wish I had actually transferred to the other one, because now that I'm here, I see that, you know, these people that I want to hang out with are actually over there, and so, you know, it would be ideal if I was on the other server. That they will be opening transfers, you know, within the 264 bits worlds. So between Orcrist and Meriadoc, and between Peregrine and Glamdring. But it's not just going to be like a free-for-all. Like, they will do it one direction for a little while, like a week or 2, I think. I can't remember how specific he got. So like you'll be able to go from Glamdring to, what did I just say, Peregrine for some period of time. And then they'll stop that and you can go the other direction for some period of time. So that's the plan that he was talking about on Friday. So, hey RPG MMO, how are you? I am good, thank you. How are you doing today? Oh, we got a question. Tiahanya? Hang on, let me get Bilbo to chat along with these guys doing his cleverness. It's my first time here. I was wondering, how come your toolbar looks different to mine? I love the look of yours. Thank you. I am using, thanks Moobot, what is in the chat there. Actually not, yeah, so I am using the JRR Skins collection. So you want to look for that if this is what you want. And yes, you do find that at the lotrointerface.com. Lotro Interface has a whole lot, excuse me, of different plugins and add-ons for the game that people create, and then they submit it to Lotro Interface, and then you can go there and download it. There's also the Lotro Companion. Is that the right one? Honey, I always get these mixed up. Yeah. No, sorry, the plugin compendium, which is kind of like a subset of all the things that are at the Lotro interface, and it makes the downloading and installing. It just does it for you in the background. It's super handy. So, RPG MMO asks, is there a Gondor one? So, okay, let's see. Control O, UI settings. Scroll down. So the current user skin, this is, I have JRR Delving Hill, it's Y2. Is there a Gondor one? Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, which was the one that I was using for my Gondorian people? Or there's a Horse Lords one. There's an Eorlingus. It looks like that. Oh, hang on, I gotta fight a troll. Let's see, what else? There's an Erebor one. That's more dwarf. Oh, I love the green leaves. Hang on, let me show you that one. This is probably not the time to do this. Hang on, let me close this. Oh, I guess I took it out. There we go. Yeah, Tehayana says, I have the deed log thing. Oh, yeah, nice. I have to get my son to help me with the skins after the transfer. You should be able to... Actually, this would be a great question for the streamer coming on right after me, who is before, who has the deed log. Sorry, he's the author of the deed log plugin. He has recommended to me that I write down which plugins my characters are using. So, because the plugin manager should travel with you because it's installed locally on your computer. But what plugins your characters are using, I think, is specific to the server. So you may have to go through the process of being like, alt inventory, load for all characters, deed tracker, load for all characters. Like, you might have to go back and tell it that you want those settings back in place when you get to the new server. So yes, you can do it now. And yes, the files travel with you. I think when I've transferred, now I don't remember. I'm trying to think of when I have transferred characters, did the UI skin travel with me? You know what? I'm going to make a note of that. Hang on a second. Because I'm actually thinking about doing a stream live when I transfer my characters. Although we won't be able to log into them the next day. So maybe I would do a stream the next day also. I'm not sure. But let me see. So after transfer, redo plugins and check on UI skins. Cool. Thanks for that thought. I'll have to, yeah, I'll be curious to see, do I need to redo the skins or will the settings follow me on that one? Let's see. Let's see, before says you can install skins at any time. It is likely that your character will continue to use the skin after a server transfer. But if not, you could then reselect it from the options and the UI settings easily enough, which is what I just did. In fact, I'm going to change this because this one I find a little cold with all the blue. And I didn't choose the cold one, which is funny because there is a green sleeves cold. Oh, oh yeah, and then there's Gray Wizard. So you were asking for a Gondor one, right? Okay, hang on. Here's JRR Gray Wizard. It says Gondor. I don't know. It's very gray. Oh yeah, there's a Dragok one. I like that one. Oh, where is it? Yeah, here you can see the dragon at the bottom. It's right here underneath my face. There's a dragon on the end and a dragon on the other end. But it doesn't, then all the rest of the buttons are disappeared, and so I prefer having the buttons. I find them really useful. Let's see. Oh, I think this one is one I liked for a while. Yeah, because it's got like some really nice kind of leafy looking stuff, and that's JAPPME. So that one's cute. There's a Monsters Lair set. Oh, the Spirit of Elfwood. I think that was another one that I liked. Let me think. Yeah, look at all those leafy things going on, and it's very elf-ish. So, yes. Tiahana says, wow, there's loads to choose from. I had no idea you could do this. I can't wait to have a go with changing things. Oh, awesome. Yes, do enjoy. Now, one thing that we noticed the other day, we were going in and out of session play because there was a series of quests, and it had like 3 session play pieces that were a part of that series of quests. And so we were going in and out regularly in that. And it was because, so we were doing this on our completionist characters, which have a lot of data associated with them. And one of the things that Lotro struggles with is characters that have a lot of data. Like when you log out with a character that has done a ton of deeds and quests, there's a lot of information, and it saves all of that to a file like every time, it seems like, or something like, I don't know, it takes a long time. Whereas a brand new character, it's really fast, right? So going into session play, it's basically logging your character off, and that can take a long time. And so sometimes there was like, you were logging your character, it was logging your character out in order to log you into the session play. But in that time, it basically timed out. And so we experimented with unloading our plugins before going into session play. And that seemed to help a little bit. So if you ever find that you're in a situation where something's going weird, try removing the skin for a little bit and see if that makes a difference or not. Because every once in a while, there's like a little bit of something that interferes with something else. So just as a heads up to, you know, have a go with that. But I have not run into troubles. But occasionally somebody does. And so just bringing that up. I'm debating whether I might just leave the Elfwood on here with this character. Actually, I might just leave that because she is an elf. She's a high elf. So, you know, having an elfy background, you know, UI, that's reasonable, right? But yes, they have so many to choose from. I think the background on that is there was a time when one of the Lotro developers, and I think this might even be back before SSG, so back during Turbine days, like their pet project was getting the, was it Lua? No, that's the writing script. Getting the, what is it called? Making some data available to people who could then make plugins and take, what's that? API, that's the word. The API, which is basically, oh, I went to the wrong person. Sorry, Elrond. Just ignore me. Which is basically taking the data that the game already knows about you and that you, in theory, would know about you, but maybe the game doesn't present it to you in a way that you find particularly useful. And so the developer's pet project was, hey, what if I just make this data available through the API, which is like a chunk of data, yeah, it's your stuff. And then plugin developers could use Lua, which is a scripting language. It's the way they take that and they say, okay, let's do these pretty things with it. And that's how you end up with things like the deed tracker and stuff like that. Or like Titan Bar. You know, Titan Bar knows how much money I have, and it knows how much money each one of my characters has. And so rather than me having to guess that or go into my wallet or try to remember what character had what, like Titan Bar can just display that to me because that information exists and it exists in a way that's accessible, right? So I think what happened with the skins collection is in that same time, people were making different skins, and I think there was a plethora of them. And then what happens in the game, I've noticed with like plugins and stuff, is you'll have somebody who's really active in making plugins or in doing stuff for the game. And then, you know, life happens, they get busy, they get tired, whatever it is, and they're no longer supporting and updating like the stuff that they worked on for the game, like users like us making plugins and such. And so I think that happened with the UI skins. I think different people were making different skins, and then some people were like, okay, that was fun, a fun little project, and then they like moved on, you know? And so I think one person collected all of that and put it into one package, and that's the JRR Skins collection. Because there's some definitely different, like it feels like some different hands, you know, different artists worked on different pieces of it, you know what I mean? So anyway, I think it's really cool though. It makes me really happy to have all those different skins to play with, and I really enjoy it. So I'm grateful to the people who made them, and I'm grateful for the people who maintain them. Every so often there's an update. One thing that's kind of wacky doodle is, and you'll have to do this, is so when you're in an instance and you're trying to get out, excuse me, if you right click on your portrait up at the top, so up at the top up there, way at the top, if you right click on your portrait, one of the options will be leave instance. But with these skins, there's something weird that interacts with that. And so you have to, where's the search? Oh, it's the search. That's why I don't use this one, because it's under advanced graphics, 3D object portraits. So if you have that on, let me see if it shows. Okay, where's my face? It's not gonna show me. Okay. It shows, you know how it normally like shows your face of your character, and your character's like looking around and doing whatever. That 3D, that portrait of you looking around and whatnot is a 3D object portrait, apparently. And it, it does this weird thing with the skins that it starts off fully in the picture, and then it just slowly, so you've got this frame around it, and then you've got the picture inside, and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Every time you go in and out of a door, like you transition between one place and another. So for example, if I go, not these doors, because I'm still in the same zone basically here, but I'm going to go through this portal here, and that is transitioning from one place to another. So just doing that, the little circle inside the portrait would get smaller. And then the next time it gets smaller. And the next time it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And to the point where it's like a pin, like a dot. And you're trying to find that dot to click on in order to leave the instance. So, so the workaround is just you just unclick the 3D portrait. That's the only bug, and they know about it. They just haven't figured out how to fix it, and it's been around for a while. So the person who's maintaining all these skins has not figured out code to make those two play well together, which I find really funny. So anyway, so there's that. But man, I love the JRR Skins collection. It makes me so happy. So let's see, we had another question from Sikaparma, and asks any news of the 4K UI. I haven't heard anything. Just so you know, and all of any of you who are kind of new to watching me here on the channel, is that I do not work for SSG. In fact, the only people who stream on this channel who do work for SSG are Cordovan. He streams on Fridays at noon Eastern time, and he is the SSG community manager. So he's the guy in charge of being kind of like the intermediary between SSG and that knowledge and the player base and that knowledge. And he's really supportive of like community events, like player-based events and things like that. So that's really awesome. Anyway, so he streams once a week on Fridays for an hour during his lunch break, and catches us up on like the latest news. So that would be, if the 4K UI work was done, that's probably where they would announce it. Severlin, I think he said something about his name. That's his username. And I think we've been pronouncing it wrong. Anyway, so and I'm still not 100% sure how to pronounce it. Sorry. He's the executive producer. So he's the guy like in charge of everything, like from the hands-on perspective. And occasionally Cordovan will have him on the stream, and they talk about a whole bunch of stuff, whatever's the big news that's happening at the moment. So that would be another thing, is if that were coming out, it's possible that Cordovan might have Severlin come on and have a chat about it, or Cord just might announce it himself, like straight up. That would not surprise me, actually, because he usually just announces the news himself. He doesn't usually have somebody, doesn't need anybody to come on to like help announce news. Let's see what else. And yeah, so Cord streamed last Friday as normal, and there was nothing about 4K at that time. I can't remember if it was in the producer's letter, or I guess it's not called the producer's letter. It used to be called the producer's letter because the producer, the executive producer, or underneath him, the producer would put that out. But technically it's a letter to the players, and this one was written by Orion, who's another one of the Lotro devs, developers, and he used to be at SSG, and then he left for a few years, and now he came back, and so he's been back for a few years now, at least. And he was really big in the PvMP stuff for quite a while, but he also has his hands in a lot of things. So he wrote the letter this year, and one of the things they've done in the past is they would write a letter, and it would be like, here's what we're going to do this whole year. It's like the roadmap for the whole year. And I don't know about you, but if you've ever worked in like tech stuff and always evolving stuff, the plan you have now and where you end up at some point down the road doesn't match. The ideas you have of where you're going to be and where you actually end up don't always match. So that was a frustration I think they were running into, because they'd be like, hey, we're going to do all these things, and they would get to the end of the year, and then some of the things didn't come to fruition or not in the way that they expected, and the player base is like, yo, you promised us these things, and like, we really wanted to get these things, but for these reasons, that didn't happen. So I think they have an interest in being like, here's what's going on right now and in the near future. Here's the things we hope to get to. We'll talk more about that later. So being able to give us a little bit more like up to the minute information, and I kind of like that, actually. So I put a link in the chat to the letter, because it came out in December, I think it was. Yeah, December 18th. So that was nice. So we had a little bit of time to kind of like learn some stuff. So let's see. They're working on a raid for Quarter 1. So Quarter 1 is January, February, March. They're working on a raid, a quality of life update, which I think they were previewing some of that on the test server earlier this week. Deed log update, that was on the test server. Some bug fixes and an update to birding. Next quarter, It's Lotro's 18th anniversary, so that's exciting. That's in April. He says also a content packed uniting Shagana. I think that's more world stuff. A new instance and a new raid. And then they get into the more fuzzier stuff. So quarter 3, summer update, free updates, system enhancement, and more. Quarter 4, expansion pack. And that's kind of what they tried. Their target is always every year is to do an expansion pack in quarter 4. So that makes sense that that's listed. Level cap increase though, and some new landscape stuff, and more. So, and then was it in here that they announced the servers? Maybe not. Okay, I'm trying to skim it. Going too fast. Anyway, so that letter has some information, and then you can kind of keep an eye on there for when they add more information for quarter 3 and quarter 4. Hang on just a moment. Okay, so so the 4K thing, I can't remember what has been heard about that. There was a stream on Friday, Cordovan stream, not last week, but 2 weeks previous that Severlin was on, and let me see. They post those on YouTube as well, which is really handy. So let me find Lotro's YouTube real quick, and I'll give you that link. Yeah. So take a look there. So that's Lotro's YouTube page. Because, yeah, there was a stream, and I don't remember if they talked about the 4K at that time. It would be, what was the name of the stream? 64-bit servers with Severlin on Court of the Rings. So Severlin has in the past, Severlin has talked about wanting to do the 4K update because he has a 4K monitor. So like, this is something that is definitely on his mind and on his radar, and he would really love to have it done. But he also recognizes that he can't like just say, hey, this is what we're gonna do, and just skip like everything else. Like, that's not fair. I was trying to think if there's anything else I want to do with Narda before I switch over. I think I'll go ahead and switch over to Rosenblum. So let's see if that works. Yeah, so I think if he would have mentioned the 4K recently, it would have been in that stream. He talked about it like a year ago. So here's one of the challenges that they run into is to update to 4K. A lot of these things, so like take this launcher, for example. All of these buttons and stuff, they may have been created 18, 20 years ago. And so those files, you can't just be like, go into file for button, make button more defined, right? Like, they have to basically recreate everything. So they have to go to the actual button and be like, remake the button and do it in so that it is able to be used for 4K. I don't know if you've ever, and B4 has done some of this, and it cracks me up. If you look at the icons that you have like on your bar, which I'll show you here in a minute when I'm logged in, if you zoom it and make it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, there is like terrible definition. Once it's like somebody took a crayon and was like, you know, but we don't notice that because it's so teeny tiny. It looks right to our human eyes, right? So like, you know, like these running people as my find the path, you know, as a character. Actually, you know what? I can just open the Gandalf here. So, you know, you have like all these different little icons, and they, you know, your brain just kind of fills in the gaps, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But if you zoom these things out, they don't look good. because that's what they had to work with, right? They had so many pixels and whatnot. So in order to make it 4K accessible, they gotta redo every single button in the game, every single asset in the game, every single thing in the game, which I know they're working on because they've talked about it. Yeah, so I think that's part of what's taking so long is that they're having to go through everything. This would be a great question though to bring up again. Every time Cord has Severlin on, they often will have like a forum thread and be like, hey, if you have questions, pop them into this thread so we can get these in front of his face, get them in front of his eyeballs. So that would be a great question to put there. Or you could just go ahead and make a thread and say, hey, can we get a status update on, what's the current, where are we in the 4K update? Like, what is happening? What has happened? What still needs to happen in order for this update to occur? That could be a question that, might get you some answers. Because what you end up having, what I see on the forums is some people are like, hey, why isn't 4K here yet? You promised 2 years ago. I'm like, okay, that's a great way to start a conversation. Like, how about, I don't know, starting the conversation a little bit more respectfully? That might get you some better answers. So, that would be my advice. Just throwing that out there. IT doesn't work right itself. You got to have humans doing this work. So, but yeah, I know that the 4K stuff is something that's a priority. It's just a question of how is that going to come together? So, oh yeah, so going back to the skins thing. Let's see. Before I'd mentioned something about, we were talking about why it takes a long time to log out some characters that have done a lot of things because they have a large file and stuff like that. And before it says probably it's just character complexity. If your character has completed a lot of quests and deeds and it takes a long time to start a session play, try logging in from a fresh client to make the session play load much faster. So in our case, we were unloading our plugins and stuff like that. Because the fun thing is when you come out of a session play, it's as if your character is logging in. And you'll see that. It'll be like, oh, your character is now connected to the chat server. And oh, you've entered this. Like all those things that happen when you log in. So your plugins will relog for you, which is handy. Because sometimes, because these, IT guy, before and I'll be like, oh, I'd like to, want to do this. And he's like, well, just unload that plugin. I'm like, but then I have to reload it and I have to remember what I did and, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, so, so we have these conversations a lot. The bottom line being, I don't like unloading all of my plugins and then trying to remember what I had and what was I doing and loading them back up. So having it just automatically do that for me when I log into a character makes me very happy. So it was no big deal to unload all the plugins beforehand because we're going into session play, because coming out of session play, I was logging into my character, which means it did all the work for me. Yay. I love having all these plugins. I know Cordovan prefers to go with 0 plugins. I mean, like totally 0, because he wants people to see on his streams the experience that they will get in the game. And I can understand that. Like, I get it. That is a reasonable thing to do, especially as a, member of the SSG team. Sure, that makes sense. But man, I'm glad I don't work for them then, because I love having all my plugins. It makes me very happy. What a cute outfit. Oh, and she's gone. Siska Parma was thinking that the 4K work is necessary to stay relevant. I mean, I don't know. I don't anticipate that the 4K work is going to impact me in any way because I don't use a 4K monitor. So, I mean, it's work that they would be doing that would be useful to a subset of the community. And I mean, those are choices they have to make constantly. Like, there's definitely talk sometimes about how, like, when they're figuring out what new content to make. I know Severlin has talked about how, like, uh-oh, I don't have my bow and arrow on. Hold on. That'll make a difference. I took it off to play music. That you've got people who want to do end game stuff. So they want level 150 stuff and stuff they haven't seen before. Something interesting, something new. And then you've got people like me where I do all the festivals. And I'm like, hey, you know, mounts and new cosmetics and stuff at the festival, new dyes would be really neat. You know, so a very different place I want them to spend their time and energy. Then you have people, so you have people who want different things out of the game, and there's no way any one update, any one new expansion, anything like that can satisfy every one of the various groups. I mean, you've got Monster Play players who are very excited about Monster Play stuff, and they would like SSG to spend time on their stuff. So yeah, there's no way to, you know, please every group in the game in anything that they do. So I think they spend time, you know, they work on this for a little while, and they work on this, and they try to kind of move around and attend to different people's needs. So given that, you know, 4K is something they want to do, but it won't impact all Lotra players, or as Egg Arthur has gone and looked at AI to find... AI believes that, according to a Steam hardware survey, just over 2% of gamers have a 4K monitor. So if that's accurate, yeah, 2% of gamers having a 4K monitor. Yeah, hallucinations can be accurate. So that's the way I look at AI, is it's hallucinating information, but sometimes it makes that hallucination based on actual information that's out there. So that's the thing. Okay, so here's my little soapbox, is AI is an amusing tool and it can provide you with information, but when it doesn't have any data, it will make stuff up and there's no way to know the difference. So I could be like, hey, Lotro, hey, AI, what's the best way to earn legendary item experience in Lotro? And it might be like, swimming in Evendim will get you the most legendary item experience. And you'd be like, huh, that's an odd choice, but okay, sure, thanks. It's totally wrong. It has no clue. So if it doesn't have a way to answer the question with actual information, it'll just make something up based on information that seems right. Or as B4 calls it, a hallucination. But I could believe that less than 10% of Lotra players use 4K monitors. I could absolutely believe that. So. Siska Parma says that 2% of gamers keeps the industry alive. What industry? The 4K industry alive? I mean, that's good for them, I guess. I don't know. There'll be something new in the future that makes 4K obsolete or whatever. So, yeah, 5K, 28K. Yeah, I know it's probably going to be in 8s, but... So, I don't know. Having spent enough time with people who are always trying to get on the bleeding edge of things, I don't know. But no, I understand that 4K is like accepted technology and is used by, numbers of people. Maybe in the future, just like we went to 1080 by whatever, and that was like a big deal. Maybe someday 4K will be kind of be like, yeah, this is normal, this is standard, everybody has it. You know, just like, I don't know, telephones on the walls don't really exist much anymore. Everybody's got a mobile phone. All those various kinds of things. So, who knows? But yeah, at the end of the day, I understand them, SSG, being like, you know, where do we have, you know, we have so many people to do things. What is it? What are our priorities? And I know 4K is a priority, but it has not been the top priority, or that would be where all of their engineering time would go. And if those numbers, that 2% is accurate, I can see why it keeps not being the top priority, because 2% is not a lot of people. There are a lot of people who are subscribers to the game, so where SSG gets their money, or who buy things in the game, and those people don't have 4K monitors. So I can see why it would not be a priority. I mean, a priority of, like, it's always near the top of the list is the way it sounded like, but, you know, something that keeps getting pushed aside for something else. Frustrating thing for me is, like, the kinship updates. I really would love to see some kinship updates, like some way for kinships to connect in some way, or maybe, you know, a way for characters to be able to be in two kins at once, or, you know what I mean? Like, I would love to see some updates with that. And I would love to see it, like, if kinships could own more than one kin house, that would be fantastic. Like, one standard and, you know, one or more premium houses, that'd be really cool. Just like a character can own one standard house and then any number of premium houses they want. That would be so cool. I would love that. So I don't know what they've got in mind for the kinship update, but I know they keep teasing that as well, and I would love to see that come this year. So, let's see. Telerian asks Egg Arthur, says, you did stand in on the Slayer Saturday as far as I recall. I hinted at the point you lead the Slayer Saturday at the moment. Hang on, I gotta go look under a rock. And Gosho streaming it. I hope that was... Oh, so please correct me if that was false, is the TLDR there. Let's see. Oh, Egg Arthur points out that the Steam hardware survey numbers are available, but if one doesn't trust AI, which I don't. But of course, that's just Steam, not representative of all gamers. That's a fair point. Like, Steam is definitely not representative of the majority of Lotro players, because the majority of Lotro players don't access Lotro via Steam. So, you know, yeah. Okay, so let's see. Egg Arthur says, yes, we are continuing Slayer Saturday, a community event that's not related to SSG or the Lotro stream team. No, but Egg Arthur, I was asking about it earlier because I was saying that after the new servers open and people kind of get settled into their new homes, then I think it would be neat to see, you know, community things. I was wondering why it's all sparkly. That's cool. Thanks for the sparkles, folks. Those are neat. Yeah, I would love to see some, like, more community stuff popping up again. Or I might participate and try to, like the Slayer Saturdays, because I have characters that are a bit behind on that sort of thing, and I would love to, you know, work on some of that. But because, like, things are so scattered out and about, I'll give this guy a cheer. Thanks, folks. You're so awesome. Yeah, that might be fun to join in, and yeah, I'm hoping to see some community stuff kind of come together and stuff like that. So that's why I was like asking earlier. So thanks for that. I was saying also that we have our regularly scheduled questing, kinship questing on Saturdays over on Treebeard. So I don't know if I'd be able to participate, but hopefully. Also, are you doing it on every server? You kind of rotate servers, right? So I know I have so many questions about Slayer Saturday. Oh, how funny. Yes, Tillian says, I dropped your name, although I probably misspelled your name. Therefore, I found it fair to tell you. Egg Arthur says, I put the new servers on the Slayer Saturday schedule for 2025. Do you have that, like, listed on the forums or elsewhere? I guess I'm on. So I know the Green Eyed Gamer has a Discord, and I was on there, but I haven't checked it in a while. I may have actually. I've been trying to tidy up my Discords, and I may have dropped out of it, but I may have kept it just in case to keep an eye on the Slayer days. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Egg Arthur says Slayer Saturday has been run on all English-speaking free-to-play servers. We ran it once on Mordor as a special event. Oh, I think I remember that. I didn't make it for some reason. It happens. So, yeah, B4 points out that Dan Olson of Folding Ideas used Steam numbers to estimate the number of Lotro players in one of his recent videos, and as someone who only launches Lotro through the launcher, that sounded like flawed methodology. So, speaking of people who look at methodology and data and things from a very logical point of view, coming up right after me is B4, who will be streaming his stream here, streaming his stream, a bit redundant, called Plugin Along, where he is looking at the various Lotro plugins and doing some plugin development work. So what are you working on today, honey? Okay, so he's going to be working on some deed tracker stuff today. So that's exciting because the deed tracker, when he made it in the image of the in-game deed log. So deed log on the one side, deed tracker on the other side. So this is the plugin over here. This is the in-game thing over here. So you notice that there's a lot of consistency, so it's easier for players to use between like these tabs across the top match up to where he made these tabs across here. And then on the bottom, so like class, race, epic, there's these 4 tabs. I know, tabs and tabs. He can talk about that. But under race, class, epic here he's got them coming down as opposed to going across. So, you know, stylistically trying to pick out what is the most logical way to present the information. And this is what he chose. The deed log is getting an update in the game. And that was previewed on the Bull Roarer test server earlier this week. So he may have some thoughts and conversation about that. So, so Sika Parma says, yes, and I do understand that if devs really use legacy code made by others in the past and themselves focused on expansion packs on top of that old foundation, it can be a really daunting task to figure out how technical stuff works. Yeah, the funny thing is, I know they mentioned something, and I think this was Scenario. Scenario is a Lotro developer who does a lot of the landscape development. So when they go into a new area, like he's the one that's like, hey, let's put this rock here, and okay, we're gonna use this here, and these assets here. And so he has some really interesting streams to watch. I really enjoy the insights that he has, that he brings to these things. And he was talking about, I think at one point they wanted to go in and tweak something in like one of the Moria instances or something like that, something early on, right? Maybe Angmar. And they couldn't make any changes in there without a whole bunch of other stuff breaking, even though it was not obvious what was causing the breaking from one thing to the next, but that was the end result. So I think that's actually, yeah, I think it was Angmar, because I think that's why we ended up with those other instances in Angmar that are basically Angmar again, but it looks just slightly different because they had to rebuild it for that. So, and B4 points out that, yes, as a software engineer, all code becomes legacy code after about 6 months when you've forgotten how it all works and have to reread it and have to reread it all to understand what's going on. I don't know that anybody has the amount of time in their lifetime to read all the code behind Lotro. So I understand where sometimes they're like, we're going to try and make this change. Whoa, look at all these problems it created. Okay, we need a different solution. So, you know, all of that. Oh, Tia Hahana got the new skins. There's even a Frostfell one. I look forward to picking one later this evening. Thank you all for the heads up. Yay, you're welcome. I'm glad you're having fun with that. Oh, that's so fantastic. Yay. That makes me happy because I just love all the little personal touches we get to put into the game. So I'm really happy that you're excited about that. So even though I have nothing to do with that plugin, with that UI, with the skins and that, all of that, I have nothing to do with that, but I just love using it so much, and it makes me happy other people are using it. Oh yeah, so I'm using a different one here. This is, actually I might have had this on the other character until I switched it when we were talking. This is, oh no, UI settings, went the wrong button. This is the JRR Delving Hills Wide 2. And one of the things I really love about these skins, just a sidetrack real quick, is that it you'll see it behind other things. So actually the wardrobe's not necessarily the best way to show you this. The auction house. So like the auction house, check that out. Like it has all of this cool graphic stuff in the background that like they didn't need to do that, right? They could have just been like some plain gray, whatever. But yeah, isn't that just gorgeous? I love it. I love how they just have little touches that apply to all these different things. So anyway, okay, let's put that away. Oh, Egg Arthur says, I considered extending Slayer Saturday to the French and German speaking servers since you speak a little both languages. Yeah, that's a fair point. But I'm not sure how those servers will survive after the dreaded review in the fall. I expect most of the role-playing scenes from those folks, from those servers, are going to go ahead and transfer over pretty soon because they're going to want to keep their names. I don't know the role-playing scenes over there very well. I know there's some good, strong music scene, like on this, especially on like Serenon, I think. So I'm looking forward to getting a chance to interact with some of those folks. So that's, I would guess that you could run them on the new server and be like, you know, Slayer Saturdays, friendly for English, French, and German, and then people might feel welcome to just join in. So you wouldn't necessarily have to do a specific run in any specific language. I think if you just let people know that you can help out in those languages, that could also just be useful to people, I would think. Yeah. What? Well, I could look on. Did you put this on the forums? Did you say? I can't remember. I'll look and find out more information about your Slayer Saturdays. I'll go take a look because not until I get to the new servers, but I am definitely interested in trying to join in. So hopefully it's during a time of day that I can do so. So, well, yeah. If you're going to do anything Euro friendly, then I would be able to potentially. So, okay. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here pretty soon. You're bad at promotion, nothing on the forums as of yet. I understand. Yeah, I used to run conventions, and man, we had some really great content, and people were constantly saying, you know, how fantastic the convention was, and there was a lot of really good stuff that happened at these events. And I really struggled with promotion, and so our numbers always kind of hovered at usually at a lower number, just because we just could not make that like penetration of knowledge out there, you know what I mean? So I understand that. Well, Egg Arthur, where do you have this information if a person wanted to go and look for it? I guess that's the question I will put to you. And while you're thinking about that, if anybody else has anything else they want to talk about real quick, drop that in the chat. And otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up here very, very soon and pass the baton over to B4 here in a moment, who will be doing his plug-in along stream. I just wanted to go ahead and I was grabbing something. So hang on. And boom, and boom. And B4 and I put together a video of the character transfer wizard. We did a walkthrough of that. It's like a 6-minute video. So it's nice and short, but it has everything in there that hopefully you need to know. So keep that in your back pocket for when you are wanting to know more about this whole how do transfers work thing. You can watch through that. So reduce some of your anxiety if you're feeling anxious about the transfers. And then you can use that as kind of a guide for following along when we go to do the actual transfers later on, hopefully this month. So, okay. You're right, RPG MMO says, SSG, if you are here, we all need carryalls for sale, please. Oh my gosh, I am 100% with you. I need so many carryalls, and I need task carryalls, I need die carryalls, I need housing carryalls like crazy. Yeah, I have so many carryalls that I need, and holy moly, if they can put those on sale, that would be amazing. I'm going to have to make a decision at the very end of the month whenever the transfer is open. I will have to make a decision of like, do I buy carryalls at full price, or do I make alts and just make them carry everything and then delete them on the other end? You know what I mean? Like, who knows? So yes, from your typing to SSG's ears, let us hope so. So, okay, so Agar3 said it's on the Slayer Discord. And is that the Green Eyed Gamers Discord? I'll see if I'm still on that. And if I am, then I can check there. But I would recommend you put it up on the forums, because then everybody could see it. Just saying. I know there's a section on the forums, it's like player events or something like that. Oh, her Discord got renamed to Slayer. Okay. Well, then I may still be on that server. I may have left the server because I might not have remembered what it was. I don't know. Anyway, I'll take a look. But Egg Arthur, really seriously, I think over on the forums there's like a player events section, and that'd be a perfect place to put it, especially if you already know the dates and the locations. That'd be really cool. So, sorry. All right, I'm gonna go. Hang on a second. My throat says I'm done. So, any questions in the chat, and B4 and I can answer them. And I'm going to turn it over to B4. Thank you, everybody. Very informative and heilig. Is that how you pronounce that one? Well, gezellig. But he didn't write gezellig. Oh, was that supposed to be gezellig? Ah, I get you. All right. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Stick around for B4 coming up next, and let's see how long his voice lasts. All right. Have a great time, and I will see you all in a few minutes in the chat, and I will see you on stream in a week. Bye.